Welcome to another U10 mini lesson where I attempt to explain, expand, or give clarity or a different way of looking at something in musical terms in the musical world. Today we're going to be talking about time signatures. So I'll move this closer because this will be less playing if there is any playing and just more looking at it. So the most popular time signature we all know and the most basic one to my knowledge is 4/4. And that means there are 4 beats in a measure. And by that I mean there are 4 quarter notes in a measure. There's also 3/4, which is 3 beats in a measure. There's also 2/4, which is 2 beats in a measure. And 1/4, which is 1 beat in a measure. Now, let's get into how you might see some conducting of this. 4/4 is really easy. It's called building a house. It's down, in, out, up. So door, wall, window, roof / ceiling, or if you want to do like the chimney on the top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 3/4 is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Or I mean, if you want to, you could go inside also. I generally go outside. 2/4 is 1, 2, 1, 2. So I come out like this, like a check kind of thing. I don't know if you can see. Let me try that again. 4/4 is 1, 2, 3, 4, down, in, out, up. Then doom, 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 or 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Just remember that the last beat is always the top. 2/4 is 2/4 is 1, 2, 1, 2. Now the biggest thing about this is making sure you can tell where the and is. So I generally go down, down and out and then back in. So 1, 2, 1, 2. The biggest issue is making sure that the last part is up here so that everyone knows where the downbeat is. That's why it's called the downbeat. And then upbeat because that's why it's called the upbeat. And then 1/4 is just boom, boom, boom. So 1 and 1 and 1 and. Cool? Alright. Now let's get into some more fun. This is called decoding the time signature. So, the top half is how many of the notes will be in the measure. The bottom half is the kind of notes in the measure. So if I've got a time signature that says 4/4, you'll have 4 up on top. You'll have 4 quarter notes on the bottom. If it says on the bottom 16, you know you're looking at 16th notes. So if you says 4 16th notes, you'll have 4 16th notes. Or math, because we're smart, that's 1/4 or 1/4 or 1 and a 2 and a. A lot of times you have to use fraction, what's it called, deducing to the lowest one or whatever it's called, I forget, simplifying or whatever. You have to use that sometimes. The other fun one is 8/8. I pulled that on the drum line a few years ago, and all it is it's 8 eighth notes in a measure, which is the exact same thing as 4/4. Not the exact same thing because the emphasis is on the 8th note, but it's beat-wise for us it was the exact same thing as 4/4. I just wanted to mess with their minds and see if they could figure it out. They did. Good job, guys. 16/16, same thing as 4/4, but the emphasis on the 16th note. What else? There's also, we'll get to one in a second, so I gotta put it down here and I'll move it closer so you guys can see. We've got 4/4, there are 4 quarter notes in a measure. 5/4, I'll move it over here more. There are 5 quarter notes in a measure, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one down here is 8/8. My handwriting with a giant Sharpie is not the best, and that's going to be 8 8 notes in a measure. And then I've seen this a few times, mostly in drumline speak, 11/16, which is 11 16 notes in a measure. There are a lot of ways to write this out, but you have to keep the bottom as a, 1, 2, 4. You could go 6, 8. We'll get to that in another video. You go 12. Oh, sorry, you can go 16. You could go, 32. Don't, but you could. And if you really want to punish someone, go 1/64. I know it exists. I haven't seen the piece, but I know 1/64 time signature exists. Now the last one, because I wanted to give you guys a little bit of fun, other special time signatures. So 2/2, that means there are 2 half notes. Star Wars, by the way, for those of you who don't know, the Star Wars main theme when it goes dun 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 dun, like that used to scare you as a kid with the very beginning during the main title sequence. That's actually in 2-2, and the reason why it's in 2-2 is because, as we all know, we like to be lazy sometimes, and it's easier for the conductor to go 1 2 1 2 1 2. Also, when you're that conductor, you can do whatever you want to do. Trust me on that one. You can do pretty much whatever you want to do. Then also there's ligature posy, which is 1/1/4 over 4. Now, why would you write that like that? You could also do it as, wait for it, think about it for a second. You could do it as 5/16 notes, because what that's saying is there's 1/4 note plus 1/4 of a quarter note, which is 1/16 note. Makes sense to everyone so far? By the way, for those of you who don't know, John Williams can seriously do everything or anything he wants to because he's amazing. This is by a man called Percy Granger. He did ligature posy and some other things that are fantastic. He can also make up rules as he goes because he's Percy Granger. He's amazing. That's pretty much it for this one. One of the big things to remember is that a lot of times musicians are lazy and composers can be lazy or simple, and they will put in certain type signatures to make it easier on them to compose, or put the emphasis on a certain beat, or sometimes make it a challenge for you. I've seen music that's 3/8, which is 3/8 notes in a measure, because remember, we'll go back to this page, the bottom is the kind of note you're working with, the top is how many there are. So if it's 3/8, that means there's 3/8 notes. If it's 5/8, that means there's 5/8 notes. I'll get into triplet stuff later because that's much different, and that'll be probably at least 2 videos by itself. Yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. If you want me to expand on anything, if anything else, let me know. Let me show you one more time. Oops, that's a different lesson. Can you see I kind of do these almost at the exact same time or use the exact same journal? So, once again, I'll get up close for you guys to see again. 4/4 is 4 beats in a measure, 3/4 is 3 beats in a measure, 2/4 is 2 beats in a measure, also known as, musical terms. 1/4 is 1 beat in a measure. Remember, you can compound that sometimes, say, simplified fraction-wise. You've got the kind of note. It has to be 1, 2, 4, 6, no, it has to be 1, 2, 4, 8, 12, 16, right? No, sorry, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. I can see. These are one take, so if I make a mistake counting, I make a mistake. I'm thinking of the top. 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. Remember, it's like the duple triple video. You can only keep going by 2. You can only double it. If you're non-triplet, which means you're duple, you can only go by doubling each time. So the kind of note and how many there are in the top. So 1/8 will be 1/8 note. 1/4 is 1/4 note worth. Not 1/4 note, but there's 1/4 note worth of notes or 1/4 note worth of beats in that measure. Sometimes my explanations are confusing, I'm aware of that. And then the other fun time signatures, 2/2 is 2 half notes in a measure, also known as the Star Wars. And 1/4 over 4 is 1/4 note plus 1/4 of a quarter note over quarter notes. So again, if you have any questions or want me to expand on anything or just curious or any comments, please let me know. And until next time, to quote the man who makes our snare sticks, Scott Johnson, if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. I'll see you later.